So many times I have people asking me this question. I want to start my own business. Where do I start from? How many registrations do I have to obtain? How do I actually begin? How do I open a bank account in my own firm's name? Often people say, यार मुझे company खोलनी है, कैसे खोलूं? Things like that. As a CA, I've always believed that our job is not just to help clients with income tax returns or GST returns, but also help them with setting up their businesses. Things like which accounting software should they use? Should they actually employ accountants, or based on the scale of their business, at that stage accountants is not necessary, they can do it on their own. Sometimes we have to also help them set up the basic software so that they can run their businesses smoothly. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you how do you start a business and what all needs to be taken into account. Let's begin. Hi everyone, I'm Nikita, and in this video we're going to be discussing how do you set up a business, how do you start a business. 3 steps, the first step, the second step, and the software that you should use for your business. Let's talk about the first step. In the first step, we will determine what is the first basic registration that you're required to do to start your business and how do you apply for the bank account. Before I begin, one thing that needs to be clear at your end is, are you going to run this business alone on your own, or are you going to run it with people? Are you going to run it with others? If you're going to run the business alone on your own, there's no separate registration required as such. Your PAN or your permanent account number will be the PAN of the business. The only thing that needs to be done is you need to decide on the trade name for your business. Once you've decided on the trade name for your business, in your respective state, you can apply for the Shop and Establishment Act. Once you've applied under the Shop and Establishment Act, it's a very small application, especially if you're not employing people or the number of employees does not exceed the limit specified in the Act. In the application, you need to mention where will you be running your business from, what is your business, and your email ID, mobile number, and such basic details. Once you've got that basic application, you can submit it to the bank and the bank will open a current account for you in the name of your business. Apart from this, for basic registration, no other documentation is required in case of sole proprietorship concern. Now, if you have a brand name that you want to register, you can get that brand name registered in your name. That brand name can be registered as a trademark. Now, if you decide to run the business along with others, then the forms of organization that you can go for are partnership firm, limited liability partnership, private limited company, association of persons, and body of individuals. So if you're running your business with others and you choose any of these form of organization, you have to obtain a separate PAN for each of these organizations. So for example, if I'm a partner of a partnership firm, my PAN will be different than the PAN of the partnership firm. Similarly, if I am the partner of a limited liability partnership, my PAN will be different than that of the LLP. Let's talk about partnership firm. In case of a partnership firm, the first thing that you should do is make a partnership deed. The deed will talk about the relationship between the partners, the profit sharing ratio, the capital contribution, etc. Once the deed is formed, it can be registered with the register of firms who is present in every state. It's better to get the deed registered. The registered deed can then be submitted to the bank and you can open your bank account. In case of a limited liability partnership, the first thing that you should do is decide on a trade name. Once you've decided the name of your business, you can go on the website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and search if that name is available. And then you can make an application for formation of LLP to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. In case of a private limited company, again, first decide on the name that you want to keep. Search if the name is available on the MCA website. And once that is done, you can apply for incorporation of the company on the website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Now, the basic difference between these 3 forms of organization is that the compliance costs in case of a private limited company and a limited liability partnership are higher than that of a partnership firm. So based on what business you're wanting to run, you should take the decision and not directly skip to a private limited company if possible. The second step is, what are the other registrations that are required? Now, clients often come to me and ask, should I get registered under ESIC, that is Employees State Insurance Scheme, and Employees Provident Fund Scheme right away while registering my business? The answer is no. Why? Because each of these acts, ESIC and EPF, they have some basic employee limit. So in case of Employees Provident Fund, only if you have more than 20 employees and those employees are drawing a salary of less than 15,000, in that case, you need to get registered under EPF. In case of ESIC, the number of employee limit is 10, in some states it's 20, and the salary limit is, if they're drawing a salary of less than 21,000, only then it is mandatory. So you don't have to jump and get these registrations. Only if it applies to you, in that case, please obtain those registrations, because once those registrations are obtained, you cannot revoke those registrations. The other consideration is in case of GST. In case of GST as well, there are certain turnover limits. Only if you cross those threshold turnover limits, registration becomes mandatory. Or there are a few other instances, like if you enter into an interstate transaction, registration is mandatory. So first find out whether registration is actually required and then opt for registration. The third and the final step is, what software should you use for your business? A lot of people until a few months back would choose offline softwares like Marg, Tally. However, today, after the lockdown, based on how the world is changing, we must all opt for cloud-based accounting softwares. Why? Because they're easy to access, easy to use, so much so that if you're just starting off, you don't even need an accountant. You can directly make those invoices on the software and you can maintain all the basic records on those softwares. They're very easy to use. Only when the organization grows, you can decide to employ an accountant. Meanwhile, you can use those cloud-based softwares. Also, where any data is required by your CEO or by any other person, they can directly extract the data from the software. So these softwares have several benefits. I had made a video about it. You can find the link to that video. And in my opinion, you can use Zoho Books as a software. No, this is not a paid review. I have actually tested the software in depth and I believe that it is very easy to use and effective as well. It gives several reports, and if you're just starting off, it's a great software for small and mid-sized firms. So hope I have helped you understand that what all needs to be considered before you decide to start your business. How do you actually set it up? If you have any questions on this topic of setting up your business, please ask me in the comment section down below. My name is Nikita and I'll see you guys in the next one.